Talking electric vehicle sector today with Global Energy Metals Corp. We've got GEMC on the venture, GBLEF on the OTC in the States, and I've got the CEO, Mitchell Smith. Mitchell, always a pleasure. It's been a while. Thanks for coming on. Please update us. What's been going on with GEMC the last 6 months or so?
Excellent. Well, thanks very much, Rob, for having us on today. It's always good to be here and being able to speak with you, and happy to provide an update. It's obviously been a very challenging market in the junior mining space, and but that hasn't stopped Global Energy Metals, and we've been very active in advancing our projects, not only in North America but also in Australia. And really, it's allowed us to strengthen our understanding of these core battery mineral assets. We've been able to commence an exploration program that's allowed us to better understand the potential for our Nevada-based cobalt, nickel, and copper projects. We've been able to do some drone surveys, some mag airborne surveys, underground sampling work that's never been done, and some explorational field work to identify drill targets for an upcoming drill program. In addition to that, we formed a partnership with Canada Cobalt Works. We've been able to acquire the right to use their Re2Ox proprietary technology, and that really allows for skipping some of the normal smelting process and achieve exceptionally high recovery rates for the battery minerals like cobalt and nickel, and removing the impurities like arsenic from it to create a battery grade cobalt sulfate. Something else that we think is very important was increasing our land position in Nevada, and we did so by about 20% more than what we had originally when we first optioned the project last year. And of course, Nevada is such a strong mining state. It's been voted the best mining jurisdiction for investment. So being able to have a very strong footprint in that jurisdiction and only 150 kilometers away from the Tesla Gigafactory was something very important for us. We also were able to complete on a transformational acquisition of the Millennium Cobalt Copper project, as well as two prospective projects in Mount Isa, the Mount Dorothy and Cobalt Ridge, all of which are in Queensland, Australia. And we reiterated that potential of the project by filing a technical report that really highlighted the opportunity and the resource expansion potential. This led us to a new partnership with a group called Cobalt Blue, where we're investigating cobalt, copper, and gold recovery potential for the Millennium projects, with the studies that are ongoing, and we should have some results out in the next several weeks. So, we've really tried to make it abundantly clear that, as much as we are cobalt focused, we are very much a battery minerals company, and we're focused on providing that much needed exposure to the growing energy storage and vehicle electrification sectors, which we believe are the biggest opportunity, the biggest investment opportunity trends there are today.
And you touched on at the top how tough this market is. A lot of accomplishments, a lot of things you've been working on. Talk about all the work versus the no reward as far as a share price. I mean, obviously a very attractive entry point for an investor right now. So
yeah, certainly a very, very attractive entry point, and would like to see the share price be more reflective of the work that we've accomplished over the past 6 months and really several years in building a vehicle that has such great exposure to the core battery minerals. I think there are a few reasons for where we're at in terms of the price. Unfortunately, we did have some selling post our financing that we did in the spring of this year, and with a number of groups who were determined to move out their position. Added to that was a general disinterest from the market regarding the battery metals and more specifically cobalt. But I think that is changing, We feel that we've consolidated much of that selling. And regardless, we continue to advance on our milestones. We meet them in a timely fashion. And, I think it provides, like you said, at this point, a basement level entry position for new shareholders and existing shareholders to beef up their position and really be committed to the achievements of the company.
And you were recently invited to partake in a Canadian government-led trade and investment mission to South Korea. Tell us how that came about and what it entailed, and it must have been just an exciting experience.
It was. It was not only a great experience, but it was reassuring in terms of seeing and meeting with end users in the market who are very hungry and have a strong appetite for battery minerals specifically. Importantly for our sector, South Korea is an auto manufacturing and high tech hub. Then these are industries that are very reliant on critical minerals like cobalt, nickel, copper, lithium, and rare earths. And because of that, they are actively seeking to secure global value chains for these minerals and really reduce their reliance on competing countries and non-market economies. Our government in Canada realized this, and because of a free trade agreement in place between South Korea and Canada, they organized this trade and investment summit. And it gave us a platform to be able to really position global energy as a near-term solution to some of their challenges and gaps in terms of securing safe supply of critical metals. We were very well received. We have a number of ongoing conversations with some of the world's largest battery cathode manufacturers, and we're working with some groups there to entice investment into our company so that we can bring the potential of our assets to fruition. So, I would say stay tuned with that. There's a lot happening on the from that front.
Yeah, then you're also recently invited to speak at the CRU Rhines Notes Ferroalloys, the most important and largest annual gathering of ferroalloy professionals. So talk about that one, and pretty nice to be able to speak to that.
It was, and it was an honor to be able to be invited back again this year. I spoke to battery minerals and cobalt specifically last year, and so this was yet again another opportunity for us to really shed light on the importance of cobalt and build a case for cobalt as a key EV battery mineral. Really, it also it was recognized there that the U.S. has woken up to the fact that many of its critical minerals are being challenged by competing countries, and so they're looking at ways to incentivize growth in that space and incentivize electric vehicles and charging stations. There's billions of dollars being spent on that. But what was missing and something that we wanted to emphasize during our time there was there's a roadblock in the supply chain for battery minerals, and that is investment and capital market support that's needed to source, develop, and produce a domestic supply of these critical metals. And cobalt's very, very high on that list. And it needs to be seen that capital needs to flow to the project levels in order for them to secure a domestic source that they're ever so wanting.
And let's get to Nevada here. I know it's exciting for you. Got some airborne surveying going on and some digital modeling work. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, it's been really neat to see this technology being implemented, and we think we're at a point now where utilizing drone surveys, for instance, and cost-cutting measures to better explore and more efficiently explore assets is something that's very much key. So, we're working with a group that's Reno-based. came very highly recommended, and using this airborne surveys to provide a view of the overall size of the project. This has never been explored during modern times, so we're able to get a very high resolution look at the surface and subsurface anomalies that occur. And there's ongoing work happening. We should get some results out in the next week or so. Certainly keep your eyes open for the results from this UAV mag system survey.
And I got to ask you, Mitch, since you've been in this sector here, you've probably seen it change a little bit. Talk about where it's at now versus where it was when you got in here. Is this what you signed up for?
Very much so, because we're part of a really interesting space. Cobalt is obviously a very niche market, but it's very, very important. And when we first started exploring for cobalt over a decade ago, the cobalt market was really dominated by its metal application. Its use in chemical form in battery cathodes was very, very small, and it was the growth in that segment was theoretical. Mobile phones were not as prevalent as they were today. Laptops, tablets, not even close, and EVs were something of the future. We say that the future is now, and cobalt's use in batteries has now surpassed that of the application in metal form. This year alone, we witnessed the use of cobalt used in electric vehicles surpass that of portable electronics. So, we think it's really astonishing. And, fortunately for companies like us, the demand for cobalt has a very bright future and requires new supply to come online to meet the demands that are being brought on by this green new energy economy.
And before I let you absolutely go here, you gave us a little glimpse, I think, with some news potentially coming up. What else you got to look forward to here?
Yeah, we've got a number of ongoing announcements surrounding the continued programs in Nevada, the drone surveys. I think we'll see some further developments on Millennium, our partnership with Cobalt Blue, and the recoveries on the cobalt, copper, and gold from the Millennium project, which we see as being one of the most exciting, scalable primary cobalt projects in the industry. And really it's all based on lithium-ion batteries, which really are at the heart of the current and future energy transition. And these batteries are powered by cobalt. It's an investable mineral. It's critical for the future of the e-mobility revolution. And to get exposure to that opportunity, which we see as being the biggest investment growth opportunity there is at the moment, you need to look at the companies providing metals critical to that space. Global Energy offers that exposure, and like you pointed out before, it's at basement level entry cost. So now is the time.
There you have it. Global Energy Metals Corp. CEO Mitchell Smith. Appreciate that update. And folks, this one here is one to definitely look at, like we talked about. 2.5 cents right now. A lot of hard work being done. Mitchell, look forward to seeing some of that news when you have it out there.
Excellent. Thank you very much.